Okay, ladies. Yes, we're going to talk about the matriarch community, and I'll give you a little bit of backdrop about the matrilineal system that um, me and my family we have. Um, so it's a little bit different than um, the patriarchal system, and yes, you're reading the title correctly. That some of you are not going to come with us to this. You're not going to come with matrilineal women. um the reason why I say you're not going to come with women like myself is because a lot of y'all don't want to let this system go. What? What did you say? What's the matter? So yeah, you're coming with us, because she's like, am I coming? Yeah, you're coming. um a lot of y'all are not going to be able to you're not going to be able to come because you don't want to let this system go. You don't want to let this system go. You don't want to let men go. You don't want to let the idea of men go. You don't want to let the fairy tale go. That's why you're not coming. um that's the reality. A lot of y'all are not willing to do the work that is required to unprogram from this entire system. I will tell you that it is extremely painful when you have to unprogram from the fallacy of the system and what men have convinced you to believe, what society has convinced you to believe. As someone who's grew up in a matrilineal setup in a household, I can tell you that it's all about protecting the women and the children. It is not about censoring men at all, period. My grandmother would be the matriarch of her household. It's literally you holding all of the power within your household, being the leader of your household. Nobody's coming to save you, ladies. Nobody. Um, I would recommend that you read all of Bell Hook books to get an understanding about everything. And I absolutely love her books because it talks about oppression in the work field. It talks about racism in this country. It talks about what Black women have to go through within the Black community and misogamy and sexism. How do you guys think I can get on here and I can talk about all of these things? Because I actually read the literature, I actually studied men. And that is what is so challenging for a lot of men who approach me. They automatically assume that I'm going to just give into, you know, this patriarch of nonsense. I don't give into this patriarch of nonsense. Um, a lot of matrilineal women, we are very holistic. We're very hippie. We're very, what's the word I want to look for? Whimsical. Yeah, I'm pretty whimsical. Okay, I'm not your typical normal Black woman, right? I would identify as very whimsical, very let me stop this. I'm very nonchalant. Um I don't tolerate bullshit. very high standards, very high regards when it comes to certain things. Um, when I first started out on my celibacy journey, I felt extremely dirty. I felt dirty. Um, I had to do a lot of detoxing from the energies that I were connected around. I'm still releasing, I'm processing and releasing, all of this energy of the patriarchal system. I've had to do detox baths. I had to do some spiritual cord cutting. I'm telling you, ladies, that when you start out on your celibacy journey, it's not going to be easy. When you get to sovereignty status, it is not going to be easy. It is going to be challenging, especially in a society under a system that sees you as nothing more but a threat. And that's literally what the patriarchy sees women as. It sees you as a threat. That's why men say that we're the enemy to them. You know, I've had to cut off male centered women. I've had to cut off pick me types of women. I've had to cut off women who constantly keep engaging in toxic patterns and toxic behaviors. You see the patterns and the behaviors of these men, and you keep co-signing to it. You keep co-signing to it. You keep subjugating yourself to your own demise. The patriarchal system does not care about your flight as a woman. It only cares about your service that you can offer into the system by feeding men's ego. And that's literally what you're going to do. The patriarchal system is about feeding a bunch of entitled, narcissistic, agnostic males. That's all it is. You're feeding them. You're feeding the beast. You're literally feeding the beast, which is man. And the Bible literally talks about the beast. The beast is the man. See, the Bible was written not only to control men, but to control society. And all of these systems are a part of this hierarchy of the patriarchal system. You got capitalism, you got racism, you got all of these things that feed into this power structure that keeps the system going. You got racism, you got sexism, you got misogamy, you have chipperism, you have socialism. I just want you guys to understand you have discrimination, you have oppression, anything that ends in ism or ends in IONS, anything that keeps society beneath. And there are men who literally see women as beneath them. They don't see women as worthy or value to society. The matriarchal system is about centering women and children. It's about centering animals. It's about loving, positive, healing energy. It's about balance. It's about harmony. You're not going to get those things under this system, under the patriarchal system. What you're going to become to a man is literally enduring servant. That's it. You're going to be a slave to the man. It's just a new form of slavery, just rebranded. That's all it is. The matriarchal system is all about healing, growing, evolving. care of the plants, the animal, and nature. I am what you would consider a hippie, holistic, liberal unicorn. That's what I am. My time is in nature. I have literally become one with nature. I am never returning back to the system again, the patriarchal system again. I had to reprogram from all of the belief systems that women are to submit to men. I had to get away from all of the religious dogma. I had to get away from the pick me's and the male centered women. I literally had to reprogram my mind of this whole entire paradox. I would consider my sisters to be more pick me's. They're pick me's. And they put up with a lot of crap to say that they have a man. My children will not participate in this system. Um, they're also going to be on the 4B journey. If you are a matrilineal type of woman, you want to make sure that your children's last names are in your last name. Under the patriarchal system, your children's last name would be their father's last name. My children carry my last name. They do not carry my ex-husband's last name. He is on their birth certificate. Legally, I had it fixed like that due to beliefs. I had it fixed like that legally due to beliefs. My children do not carry my ex-husband's last name. Um, they will never carry his last name. So if you are a matrilineal type of woman and you have children, make sure that those children are carrying your last name. Under the matriarchal setup, the children do not carry the father's last name. They carry the mother's last name. But the father is honored through honored gifting. Men and women are not to live together under the matrilineal setup. Men and women do not live together. Women and children live together. When boys are born, they're to return back to their father between the ages of 9 and 10. That's it. This is typically when young males' testosterone levels begin to develop in puberty stage. This is when they begin to start territorially marking certain areas. My son used to do that by marking certain things within the house. They will do it with their urine or some kind of body um, fluids. But males are not to cohabitat with women under any circumstances. If a male child cannot return back to its father, that male child is to be separated from the female children in living spaces. My girls are in one room, my son is in a different bedroom. My son does not sleep with me. I stopped that process when he was about 6. Another thing we do not do in the matrilineal setup is children are served first, then the mother. Children are always served first. The patriarchal setup, men are served, then the children, then the wife. Certain men are procreated with for their genetics and bloodline and so on. Under the patriarchal system, it teaches men of any race, of any genetic, that they can have access to women. Matrilineal setup, women pursue the men who they want to have children with based upon their genetic and bodily autonomy and so on. I purposely sought out my ex-husband to have children with. Despite he pursued me, I wanted to check out his whole entire background before having children with him. The cooking, the cleaning is all done by women. There is a setup where the women and children are sought after, the elders within the matrilineal community. The elders will be older women who are very wise and of age, who have ancestral knowledge pertaining to genders. The children are typically appointed with an elder of the matrilineal community. I'm just giving you guys a rundown of how this setup is done. Because like I said, a lot of you who are still stuck in the patriarchal setup, you're not going to let men go. You're not going to let men go. You are addicted to the male penis, which most men are demigods. You worship them like deities. Alpha types of women, such as myself, we don't serve men. I don't bow to men. I don't serve men. None of those things. Yeah, that's right. I'm an alpha type of woman. I'm a Leo, so um I love gardening. I love herbalism. I love walking around on the ground like a hippie. I'm very connected to animals such as my cat and other cats. I'm very aware of ancient Egyptian Kemet teachings. I've listened to all of Bobby Hermit's teaching. Um, it's a very galactical world for me. My job is to protect my children. That's my job. Um, my son is my twin flame. I mean, people tell me that we look identical. It's canny. It's very uncanny. Um, men, we're not here to work out anything with you guys. You do understand that. We're not here to work out anything with you. Not for it be women, no. I'm just ready to start connecting with matrilineal women, and it's ironic that the women who are a part of this community are millennials. Well, we're not here. I promise you, we're not here to work out anything with you. What we're building is for the women and children who are done with the system. That's it. I'm here to connect with women and children only from here on out. I'm here to connect with the single women that you've discarded. I'm here to connect with women who are divorced. I'm here to connect with women who have survived DV. I'm here to connect with those types of women. You know, the women who have hit the wall. That's it. So what about us men? What about you? What about you? You have your world, you have your system. What about you? That's what a world without men is about. It's about women who have created a world without you. Four B women have already paved the way for the next generation of young women. Feminists have already paved the way for women like myself. You men were never supposed to have this much power. Never. Nor the government or politicians. It was never supposed to be this way. Ladies, I think men fear. I think they fear what they don't understand. And they know what kind of power we have to just shut this down. Women all across the globe, men, are shutting it down. We're all having the same experience about you. You cannot stop Mother Nature. You cannot stop the divine feminine, even if you tried. Women were here before the beginning of time, and guess what? We'll be here until the end of time. Another thing, ladies, is if you have children and you are in the matriarchal setup and you're a part of the 4B movement, you want to make sure that you have a living testament will in place. You also want to make sure that all of your assets and resources are in place to take care of your children. Where your children are going to be and who they're going to reside with. Any kind of money, you want to make sure all of that is taken care of. Akina's Garden Healing is going to go to my children. I've already taught my children the herbalism world. You ladies continue to stay with these men, you're going to die. They're going to use you until you die. What? Some little child said, she said they're going to die. Oh my God. I'm not even talking loud. You gotta love kids. You gotta love them, man. Yes, I'm on my porch having this conversation, and the children are hearing me. But that kid said something. And that was a male child who said that. If you continue to stay with these men, you're going to die. They're going to suck you dry until there's nothing left of you. Man, they're just sucking this planet dry. Between these stupid buildings and the pollution of the air and the food and the fact that we have microplastics in our food, and the FDA can't be trusted with our food and our medicine, and all of this EPA and all of these pollutants and what's going in our water and all of this with our food supply. This planet is just unaliving people. And when you look at countries like Tokyo and Japan and China, these people are living longevity lives. Have you seen the food over there in these other countries? How great it looks? Man, if you're going to talk about make America great again, fuck it. We might as well just go and move overseas. And the food is so affordable. You guys, the people in Japan, their technology is so far advanced than what we got going on here. But we're the great powerhouse. We're the great power country. No, we're not. This country is going to shit. It's going to shit. And you have a weak leader sitting in the White House destroying this country in less than a hundred days. This country was destroyed. Everything that you need is in plant medicine. It's in nature, baby. Everything that you need is in plant medicine. Everything is in the fields. Everything that you need to grow, it's in the field. Your seeds, everything is it's in the fields. And these men are just unaliving y'all. Man, if they're not unaliving you through femicide and marticide, they're unaliving you through the food and the medicine and the environment and in relationships and through sex. They're unaliving you. Have you ever looked at a 4B woman? A woman who's decentered man, man, she's glowing, she's beautiful because she doesn't have a man sucking her dry. You ladies who are starting out on your 4B journey, baby, you got a long way of healing to go. You got a long way to go with healing because you have been exposed to toxic masculinity under the system. You got a long way to go, baby. Baby, you got a lot to unpack and heal from. And that's not going to be an overnight thing. Your body is holding so much inflammation in there that it's causing autoimmune diseases that are going to kill you. And if y'all don't get away from a lot of these men, they're going to unalive you. until there's nothing left of you. I'm so glad to be on this sovereignty path. I don't know what to do. It feels so amazing when you can decenter men and pour into yourself unconditionally, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially. It feels so good. That central nervous system can finally reset and heal, baby, because my central nervous system is finally resetting. I'm finally realigning those chakras when I am not in the proximity of a man. Men's nature is to take, take, take. Your job is to not allow them to take freely. And if they can't reciprocate what you have to offer and your access, then they don't deserve access. You have to protect your mind, your heart, your body, your womb, and your yoni. You got to protect your whole entire being away from these males. Meditation is your best medication to detox the body and release the impurities of them in the system. And reading on books that can give you knowledge about the matrix setup, because everything about that setup has been stolen from men and how they formulated the patriarchal system. Everything that you want to know about the matriarchal system is stolen from women. Our our organs, our culture, our beliefs, our spirituality, it was all taken, mm, literally from men. The men took it. There is a woman's Bible, and even that was altered, and men has altered that. Take your power back, ladies. Take your power back, because it's literally all that you have when it comes to you as a woman. But I wanted to get on here to talk about this. Much work is needed. Much work needs to be done. Much, much work, ladies. Prepare yourselves.